Hello Dub Nation, it's always a thrill to connect with you, especially as we're about to reveal the latest news that could shape the fate of our beloved Golden State Warriors. But before we dive into this whirlwind of information, let me make a friendly request. Show us some love by clicking the like button to strengthen our bond, and hey, if you are not subscribed yet, join our channel for a thrilling and emotional journey. Don't forget to turn on notifications to stay ahead of the game. Jazz fans frustrated by latest report on Warriors' pursuit of Lauri Markkanen. After weeks of speculation that gradually dwindled throughout July, the Golden State Warriors' pursuit of Lauri Markkanen is heating up again, just hours before the Utah Jazz forward becomes eligible for an extension. Monday brought a slew of new reports on Markkanen's situation, including insights from Tim Kawakami of The Athletic, providing a specific perspective on what might unfold in the coming days. Two new developments boost Golden State Warriors' hopes of landing Lauri Markkanen. Recent reports have suggested that Markkanen is happy in Utah and is likely to renegotiate and extend his contract with the Jazz after August 7, potentially taking the 2023 All-Star off the trade market until the next offseason. However, Kawakami outlined some recent developments that offer optimism for a potential trade. Firstly, he believes that a long-term max extension may not be on the table after August 6, when Markkanen can sign but also becomes eligible to be traded up until the mid-season deadline in February. If a contract offer isn't forthcoming, the likelihood of a trade increases significantly. Perhaps more importantly, Kawakami stated, "My understanding is that Markkanen's camp is not opposed to him landing with the Warriors." This is not only a new development but also an incredibly important one, given that the 27-year-old, with an expiring contract, still holds significant control over his future. Kawakami also believes that the Warriors wouldn't be the only team on Markkanen's favorable trade destination list. Kawakami's insights into Markkanen's preferences have drawn the ire of Jazz fans, who feel that the report contradicts other recent news suggesting that the Finnish forward, and his family, are happy in Utah and that he will sign a new contract. The entire situation underscores that everything is still up in the air. The most likely outcome might be Markkanen simply extending his contract with the Jazz, but there's enough conjecture to suggest a trade could still happen. Only Danny Ainge and the Utah front office know their true intentions, which will become clear once Markkanen becomes extension eligible. Until then, one thing seems certain from the latest reports: Markkanen will not sign a deal on Tuesday that would allow him to be traded by the mid-season deadline. This doesn't mean much unless Ainge and the Jazz withdraw the offer, potentially opening a game-changing development and reigniting the Warriors' trade hopes. Small deals might be pointless for Warriors after Markkanen's dream shattered. In a turn of events that became almost inevitable over the past few days, the Golden State Warriors' hopes were effectively dashed on Tuesday with the confirmation that Lauri Markkanen will renegotiate and extend his contract with the Utah Jazz. According to Shams Charania, Anthony Slater, and Tony Jones of The Athletic, Markkanen isn't going anywhere and will sign the new deal on Wednesday or later, ensuring he won't be eligible for trade until at least the next offseason. Beyond the end of the Markkanen dream, the most intriguing detail for the Warriors is the Athletic suggestion that the franchise is expected to explore smaller-scale deals more actively than usual in August and September, while also confirming that Golden State has little interest in former All-Stars Zach LaVine and Brandon Ingram. Smaller-scale deals unlikely to make significant impact for desperate Golden State Warriors. The term smaller-scale deals suggests trades for role players, of which the Warriors already have an abundance. They acquired DeAnthony Melton, Kyle Anderson, and Buddy Hield this offseason, valuable additions, but likely to sit between 5 and 10 in the rotation. Golden State has enough depth to cover almost any injury issue outside of Stephen Curry. However, their failed pursuits of Paul George and now Markkanen leave them without a distinct star power, making it challenging to be more than a play-in team in an incredibly competitive Western Conference. Should the franchise look to improve its roster? Absolutely. Are there players out there who could help? Sure. Golden State could theoretically show interest in a deal with the Brooklyn Nets for one of their veteran pieces like Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith, or Dennis Schroeder. Bruce Brown in Toronto has a slightly higher salary but could be attainable, while the Warriors have already been linked to the Washington Wizards' big man, Jonas Valanciunas, once he becomes extension eligible. Golden State still has flexibility, both in terms of salary and future assets, to make most types of deals that could arise. The problem is that rebuilding teams like the Nets, Wizards, etc., are not giving up their veteran players without receiving something reasonable in return. If the Warriors traded a first-round pick for a role player now, that's one less pick available when a star might become available. Even the expiring salaries of Gary Payton II and Kevin Looney become intriguing pieces. Use them now in a deal for a slightly better role player, and you lose those contracts that could be critical for acquiring a star with significant salary later. This is where patience becomes crucial, but that's hard to maintain with a 36-year-old Curry and a fanbase growing increasingly frustrated after the hopes of landing George or Markkanen fell through. If the Warriors make this smaller-scale deal as described, they simply need to do it without compromising the potential to acquire the type of star-level talent that could transform the franchise and ultimately enhance their chances of returning to title contention.